digital radio and 1089 and 1053 AM. Hawksbee and Jacobs on Talksport.
I made a welcome return to the studio from Corinthian-Casuals, club that over the years we've had a bit of a bond with on the show. Chris Watney, good to see you, Chris.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well. I'm nice. Thank you for having me back.
It's a pleasure. You're the documentary you made, Brothers in Football, where you went over and played against your Brazilian counterparts, Corinthians, has been on ITV recently, isn't it? Around the England 1000th game.
Well, it actually comes out tonight.
Oh, does it? Oh, right.
Yeah, it comes out tonight at 11 o'clock, or 11:05.
Okay. Oh, it's good. Well, look, tell us a bit more about the film, because people would have seen it probably on BT Sport, but if they don't have BT Sport, they've got a chance to watch it on.
Aren't we in it? I've got a feeling
you are.
We are in it.
You're both in it.
There's a bit of John, our producer, showing you out the door, if I remember rightly. That was his finest
from
moment.
the premises.
Yeah, that was it.
So yeah, tell us the backstory to the documentary, Chris.
Well, it tells the story of Corinthian FC, which are much forgotten really, and they were the real forefounders of global football. They were a team of amateurs set up by the FA in 1882, and they took on this role as missionaries to spread football all around the world. And in 1910 they went to Brazil, where they they inspired 5 railway workers who watched them play against a team in Sao Paulo to start their own club. And they were so inspired by the Corinthians that they called it Corinthians Paulista. And that team today, 100 years on, are now the biggest team in South America, and they're the 2-time FIFA World Champions. Whereas our guys, they stuck to their amateur traditions, and they fell down as the professional game got greater and greater. And they play today next to the A3 in Tolworth with a leaky porter room, sort of a boardroom cabin sort of thing. And it's an amazing story where we took the Corinthian-Casuals back to Brazil to fulfill some fixtures that never happened on the eve of the First World War.
Yes, it's very moving, that side.
Yeah,
and I remember watching the film, and one of the things that's impressive is their fans, they're typical South American fans, and they're so interested in the history of their club, and they come over, don't they? They come over to see the Corinthians. It's really incredible when they're there.
You get little pockets of them now and again watching matches, like on a pilgrimage.
Yeah, every match we get a pilgrimage of a few fans coming to the game, different Brazilians every time. They come down, they take a blade of grass, crying as they take this blade of grass from Tolworth back to Sao Paulo, where they put it on a mantelpiece somewhere. And we thought, wow, this is incredible. Then more and more were coming as Facebook, we launched our Facebook site.
Yeah, to have a new pitch put in.
Yeah, we got 150,000 fans. Yeah, if they take all the grass, and we're in problems. But so it suddenly went absolutely crazy around the sort of 2014 100-year anniversary of the First World War. And so we managed to get this match on, which was against all odds, quite honestly, playing against the world champions.
We can't, it's the climax of the film, and we can't give away what happened, but it's a great climax of the film. Yeah. It's really interesting.
There's the things that stand out is just how fanatical they are about Corinthian-Casuals, how much they know, those fans, about the club, the importance of the club, how everybody is kind of embraced by them. Yeah. And the fact that there is such a good turnout for the game, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's criminal really how unknown the Corinthian story is in this country. We're so great at remembering all the great moments of history in football, and everyone knows about their own club's history. But because the Corinthians remained amateur, I don't think people remember it, but actually it's the greatest history probably in all of football. They're the only team to play as the entire England team, and they coined the word soccer, and the first black player played for them, etc., etc., etc. They inspired Real Madrid to wear white. But you fly 6,000 miles to Sao Paulo, and suddenly everyone knows the story. Yeah. And you think, wow, in Tolworth no one knows this story. And
yeah, that is amazing.
It's amazing.
What about the penalty legend thing? I mean, people don't know about that, but also did they know about it?
But we should point out, we should explain what it is first, Chris.
Yeah, well, the Corinthian spirit was this spirit which, it's the ethos of their fair play that they played with, and they refused to acknowledge the penalty rule when it came in, because it was only given for intentional fouls. You had to commit an intentional foul, and it was their belief that as gentlemen playing the game, it was impossible for them to ever commit an intentional foul. So they used to kick penalties wide, and they used to stand aside for penalties. And the goalkeeper who did that was a guy called Thomas Rowlandson, who then went and died in the Battle of the Somme. And at the end of the film, you see us go back to the battlefields and lay a wreath for him. But in Brazil, the Corinthian spirit, or my Portuguese isn't good, but it's something like Espírito Corinthian, is a very different thing, because in Brazil, they're very much a working class club. They are the team of the people. And the Corinthian spirit in Brazil means something different. So when we tell them about, their wonderful roots of the fair play, they sort of roll their eyes a bit and think, what are you doing?
Have you maintained contact with the club over in Brazil?
We have. We've done a sort of, we've managed to do a bit of a deal where we sell shirts through their official website. It doesn't bring great amount of money, but hopefully with the launch of the film at the beginning of next year, we launched the film in Brazil, and hopefully after that we'll finally manage to make a little bit of money for them.
So the film's not been shown in Brazil yet?
It hasn't been shown. It's been a year of. We launched it on BT, and then for a year I've been trying to sort out an international sales deal, and it's been so difficult to find the right deal to make it all work.
Yeah.
But we have finally done that, and so
will it be on in cinemas in São Paulo?
No,
it'll
be on a channel similar to BT Sport in Brazil, and hopefully once that happens and more people really fall in love with the story. Hopefully we'll be able to maybe go back out there and have another tour, and hopefully the whole thing will blossom and grow.
Yeah. Was there a plan to go back, as you say, go back and then get out there again and keep playing a bit more?
Obviously, all the current players and the current manager and the current coaching staff, they watched the film and they didn't go on it, and so they're thinking, I'd love to do that. And obviously, anyone who plays for Corinthian-Casuals would love to go to Brazil and play that game. So
does it help with recruiting? Do you think people will come to you sensing they might get another chance to do that?
When I first came here in 2014, I think it was, we were in the 8th tier of English football, and now we're in the 7th tier. So we're on the mark. We are. And so we have got some new players. We've got new volunteers down the club, which is the lifeblood of the club. So the club is growing.
What are the origins of that kit that you wear now, which is a kind of chocolate pink? It's
a lovely kit, isn't it?
It's an amazing kit, actually. Well, I think it is. It's it's a bit of a clasher with parts of it, but it's pretty nice, pretty distinctive.
That was the original colours of the Casuals, and so when we joined the Casuals as the Corinthians and the Casuals amalgamated in 1939, it was decided that the white of the Corinthians, which inspired the Real Madrid kit, we thought we'd keep that aside for friendly games and touring matches, and the pink and brown would be the one, because that was when we started playing competitive games and we started entering the league. So we play in the pink and brown for Casuals rather than Corinthian.
Yeah, because you brought us in one time. I still got it at home, actually. It's a kind of almost like a rugby shirt.
The white shirt with the badge.
Corinthians badge.
The original Corinthian
nice,
shirt,
actually.
yeah. So that's the shirt which they would have worn when they went around the world doing their tours in the early part of the 20th century.
Are you still getting the pilgrimages from the fans in São Paulo? Are they still coming over?
Yeah, they still come over, they more and more. And it's something which is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's And again, with the film, I think there'll be even more. I mean, it's amazing. We even had a Brazilian festival down at the club a couple of weekends ago with samba dancers and all sorts. So it's something which the club is doing really well to embrace. Yeah. And the whole story is this. I say in the film, it's a bit of a gem left to us from the forefathers. And it's just the club's responsibility now to try and help it blossom.
Brilliant. So we can watch it tonight at 11:05. Is that right?
After your Celebrity Get Me Out of Here fix. Turn over to ITV, and there it is.
It's a brilliant film. We do recommend it. It's very moving, and it's a fantastic story. And the looks on the boys' faces when they walk out to play in that packed stadium,
it's brilliant.
in São Paulo is something else. So you'll buy into the characters, you'll enjoy it. And what's your role finally, Chris? These days, you played for the club, didn't you? What's your role?
Yeah, so now I take part in managing the Schools 11, which are a team of the former players who tour the country's schools and attempt to teach the next generation of the game the Corinthian spirit. Excellent. And so we go around doing that, but I snapped my ACL, so I'm out of it at the moment. I can't play, but I'm running that.
Excellent. Okay, and so if anybody's listening from schools this afternoon,
they may
should
have
be at work, so they might like you come along on request.
We're at Dulwich College on Sunday.
Okay,
and then I think we're off to Winchester or somewhere next week. So we travel around.
And we should mention our old friend Martin Tyler often listens to the show. He played for the club, didn't he?
Yeah, he played for the club, and a big part of the film. I mean, Martin, he does a big chunk of the war story, and adds real gravitas, and it's brilliant. He was a real supporter of the project. 11:05 tonight on ITV. Chris, thanks as always for coming in. Good to see you. Chris Watney there from Corinthian-Casuals, and Brothers in Football is on this evening.